Don't blame me, the curtains were already here when I moved in, alright? Right, let's go. Hey guys, SwitchBot has released the third generation of the SwitchBot Curtain. I already own SwitchBot Curtain 1 and 2, and third generation promises you two things: that it's more powerful and it's noiseless. Well, that noiseless part comes with a catch. So, I'm lucky enough to get a box with SwitchBot Curtain, so let's open it up and I'll tell you everything that you need to know before you decide to buy one yourself. So what I received from SwitchBot are upgraded panels, because they're solar panels. They already offered solar panels for their devices, and mainly for the curtains. So I've got upgraded solar panels, and I've got the SwitchBot Curtain version 3 or Rod 3. As I'm such a tease, I'm going to start with the solar panels, and I need a knife. Yeah, you're calling this a knife?
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Alright, let's have a look. So instead of retractable cable, which is hidden at the back in the older panel, right now we have a very mechanical solution. This is still cable, but it rests on this rod that you can be kind of put in a different position. That's a very interesting concept. We're going to be trying to use that later. But it is the time for the star of the show, which is SwitchBot Curtain Rod. And let's see how it looks like. Before you get one, you have to pick the one that's compatible with your curtain fitting. So whether you have a rod, whether you have a rail. I have a rod, so that's what I'm going to be testing. And my previous devices were still using rods, so that is my benchmark. The box number 1, some of the fittings and clips for your curtains. Also, we have a quite long cable, so you can plug it and charge it without taking your SwitchBot Curtain off. In the box number 2, we have clips that go on the side of the SwitchBot. So that's one clip and a second clip. They are very similar to the clips that are on the second version. And in the box number 3, we have this is the chain to kind of make the dragging process easier, so you can stagger that and connect it to your curtains, and it's going to be slightly easier to drag it across and more uniform, so that's good to have. These are spring loaded. Is there a release for this? Spring. Just very, very strong spring, that's what it is. So these are spring loaded. Here you go. Before the release, SwitchBot told me that this device is going to be not only faster, but it's going to be also quieter than two original devices, the version 2 and version 1. That this is something we're going to be testing. So why version 3 is better? First of all, it's going to set you back $89.99. That's if you're going to go for a single version. Additional discounts can be obtained by buying in bulk. So whether you're bundling with a hub or buying 2 devices, you'll save yourself a couple of quid. And if you check the description of this video, you're going to find additional discount code to make that purchase slightly lighter. I know those expenses will add up quickly. However, if you consider how much it costs to get a custom motorized rail, you'll quickly notice that getting something like a SwitchBot device might not be a bad option. The first starking difference is the size. It's much bigger and heavier, and I think that translates into the actual power of the device, which can now pull the curtains of the weight up to 16 kilos. That's some serious horsepower in this motor. So I have no doubt you'll be able to pull your curtains and plow your fields at the same time. It's definitely a strong device. Now the design is now modular, just like a SwitchBot 2, which allows you to actually remove the sides, and whether you have a curtain rod, you have rails, or you have tracks, Curtain has got you covered with different configurations for these devices. Inside the box, apart from the attachment that allows you now to enable this rod for telescopic poles, I also found magnetic stickers. That's going to help you out to set up the SwitchBot device quicker and prevent from the SwitchBot Curtain from drifting. I'm going to talk about it, how to use it in my installation. Apart from the single button interface on the device, we also have a USB Type-C port, which is at the bottom, and that doubles as a connector, a special connector for the latest iteration of SwitchBot Solar Panel. Something I'll show you how to use in a moment because it's quite interesting too. Now, one thing that I've noticed, especially comparing to the SwitchBot 2 device, that the light sensor, which was experimental on the SwitchBot Curtain 2, is gone. It has been moved to the solar panel, so if you want to take advantage of the light sensing, now you will have to spend another £26 on one of those. So this is a solar panel which, for the most part, is very similar in size to a previous iteration. What's changed is the method of attachment. Now you've got this bendy rod that just dangles at the bottom of the SwitchBot Curtain 3 and delivers the power. Now I live in UK and, well, sun availability is, well, spotty at best. However, having a smaller panel which was fitted to SwitchBot blind tilt, you can check out this video about it, proven that it was just enough to keep it constantly powered. So I think we could expect that it will extend the battery life of SwitchBot Curtain for quite some time, but that will depend on how often you're going to open and draw your curtains. As I mentioned, the light sensor have moved to the solar panel itself, but it's not the only change. Now in the app you also have an option to enable SwitchBot to track your sun. And what do I mean by that? You can enable scheduled charging, in which the SwitchBot will drag itself and the associated panel to optimal position for sun. Now that position can also change and it can drift over time depending on the sun position, so SwitchBot will be able to move across the rod, in my case rod, from one position to another based on the schedule. That's a really nice option to enable a more efficient charging, especially, for example, if you're at work and you want to make sure that the SwitchBot does everything for itself. However, I would like to see one improvement in which also the battery level could be used as a trigger for that charging, so that routine is not constantly in use, but it only happens when, for example, the battery drops below 50%. Other than that, it's the same SwitchBot Curtain, so let's mount it on the rod, and that's going to be a very short installation video and give it a go. The easiest way to install it, especially the rod type, is to remove one of the attachments, wrap it around the rod itself, and then clip it into place once everything is in place. I've mentioned that the magnetic sticker has been also supplied. These magnetic stickers, especially in my configuration in which curtains are coming from both sides, should be placed in the middle where the curtains meet, and those will act as an end stop or homing sensors, so each time the SwitchBot runs across the rail and hits one of these, it knows it reached the end of its travel, and if there was any drift because of slippage, it will recalibrate itself automatically. Very nice, because it will shorten the amount of calibrations you'll have to do. As my curtains are drawn from both sides, I needed a second SwitchBot Curtain 3 and link them all together. It was very easy to set up in the app, and within seconds I had a fully automated curtains in my living room. And while it was easy to fix this and automate my curtains, unfortunately I won't be able to fix the length of the curtains, and they just look ridiculous right now. Whoever came up with this idea was, well, he was having problems. There are two bold claims when it comes to SwitchBot 3 curtains: power and noise levels. So let's compare them with SwitchBot 1 and SwitchBot 2 and see what we're dealing with. You'll notice that in all three videos the speed and noise levels were very similar. So what's up with that noiseless claim where the device is supposed to be silent? It turns out in order to take advantage of complete silent operation, you have to enable QuietDrift option. By default, this option isn't available to all actions. If using voice controls or just controlling your SwitchBot from the app, you'll notice that it will be very responsive and quick in action, but it won't be working in a silent mode. This is because the silent mode will do two things. First, it will significantly slow down your device. The device will start moving at the pace of approximately 2 minutes per 50 centimeters. So that's quite slow. It's not necessarily a bad thing because when you think about it, if you would like to enable this in the morning just before your alarm, you want things to gradually bring all the brightness from outside to your room, and that is the best way to do it. So for the full length of curtain, that would take me approximately 10 seconds in here, you wait about 5 minutes for them to fully open. The second thing that SwitchBot warns you about is the excessive use of power, which means this mode takes more power than the standard mode, which makes sense because the device is working for much longer and, well, it has all that torque still available. So yes, it will drain your battery quicker, so if you're going to take advantage of that on a regular basis, I'd strongly recommend you to actually invest a little bit and get the SwitchBot Solar Panel 3 as well. Shooting this video felt like cheating, mostly because, well, it resembles a silent film. It's literally this quiet. A couple of months ago I shot a video about making my 3D printer silent, and I've encountered the same thing. When things just don't make any noise, they look like someone just removed the audio from the clip. If you're interested in how to make your 3D printer completely silent, that's the video for you. But yes, this thing is barely noticeable. I am able to sit in the same room and, well, not be 100% sure whether this thing is working or not. At least I would have been if not for my eyelets in the curtains. The wood-on-wood friction introduces enough noise to make the whole process audible, even though the SwitchBot itself, well, you couldn't really tell if it's working or not. On a day-to-day basis, using this is simple. First, you can simply start by dragging it. You can start the curtains in both directions by dragging them approximately 5 centimeters for both motors, in my case both motors, to activate and finish the move for you, which is nice. But if you are feeling lazy, you can control the unit directly using your phone and Bluetooth connection. And I know what you're thinking, it's Bluetooth, it's home automation, no. Trust me, SwitchBot have found a very good way of implementing Bluetooth. Interacting without a hub still allows you to set timers and delays and all options available in the SwitchBot app. However, if you want to enable voice controls and cloud controls, meaning remotely not being inside the home, you will need a hub. If you want to go all in and get yourself a SwitchBot Hub 2, a more expensive hub from SwitchBot ecosystem, it will bring a couple of interesting features like temperature and humidity, matter support, and more. So check out this video there. But you can also select the traditional SwitchBot Hub, which is less expensive, and that will give you what you want, mainly Alexa and Google Home integration and a cloud access. But if this isn't enough, SwitchBot also comes with their own developed API system, which you can utilize in something like Node-RED. I have a couple of examples of how to interface with SwitchBot API, so check out this video, and that way you'll be able to get a little bit more creative. And what better could you do in Node-RED? Well, instead of relying on timers to open your curtains in the morning, you can synchronize your Android alarm with Node-RED and use that as a trigger to open the curtains. This means that you no longer have to depend on a fixed schedule. You can just synchronize that with whatever you're going to set your alarm for. If you want to know how I did that, then check out this video there. It's going to tell you all about it. Obviously, you'll have to link it to the SwitchBot via SwitchBot API yourself. To be fair, for the last 2 generations of SwitchBot Curtain devices, I encouraged everyone to get a motorized rail from ZemiSmart if they're going to use that in a bedroom, mostly because of the noise concerns. And it's no longer the case. SwitchBot curtains can be cheaper and quieter than the ZemiSmart motorized slider, so definitely consider that if you fancy taking the bedroom automations to the next level. So I'm going to link everything that I've talked about today in the description of this video, so go and check it out. Big thanks to SwitchBot for sending me these so I could play with my Michael Bay curtain set. Maybe I will invest in some curtains, I don't know, because it drives me crazy, honestly. It's like, please, like, let's cut this. Anyway, you know how this works. I do not have a posting schedule. You are very versed in YouTube. I think you can figure out how to get notified about the next video. But I have a couple of social media links down below. Check it out, see what you like, and start a conversation with me through these channels. As for now, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. So I have no doubts you'll be able to plow your house.